All right. Here's what I think Stephen A. Smith is missing when he's speaking on Jaylen Brown and his critiques of ESPN and Stephen A. Smith. Jaylen Brown, to me, is not wrong. And there's a couple of points that I want to bring up. Stephen A. Smith, I want you to know that you play the game very well. You've been in this for way too long to not know how to play this game very well. Players have a problem with you, mostly because of the things that you say, yes. And they, in turn, you don't care because that's your job. Your job is to talk about them and everything that they do. And now that's where the hook comes in. This is your job. Your job is to critique the things that happen, the things that they say, anything that's newsworthy. It is your job to talk about it. And we know that. The thing that you're most good at is that when you say these things, you precede it by glazing them. You glaze them crazily before you slap them in the face by telling them what they did wrong or what they should have did or what they could do or what next steps that they should take in order to be a better person or do whatever they do differently. Now, we all know that it's opinion based. Everything that you're saying is straight opinion. I don't care how many years you've been in media. I don't care who you've covered. Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. It doesn't matter who you covered. Everything that comes out of your mouth is an opinion. It is not a fact. You are not an NBA executive, even though you know a bunch of NBA executives, so you get your information from them. You played the game, but you've never played at a high level, nor will you ever play at a high level. We know that. Everybody knows that. And you never claimed to be any good at it, but you're also talking to people who are great at it and questioning the things that they do on a level that you've never been on. And again, you defer and you bring in a lot of people to First Take to basically hide behind the wall of, well, I have Big Perk, I have Jay Will, I have all these guys that I can lean on and basically ask their opinions and get their opinions because my opinion is coming from a certain place. So now I have professionals give their opinion, and if they agree with me, I look better because that was my opinion too. But you glaze before you slap. This is what you do. I'm not going to sit here and say whatever it is that is unethical in Jaylen Brown's mind because I don't know what that is. I don't know what he sees as unethical, but what I see that's unethical and wrong with media is that you basically put yourselves in this position to have the biggest and loudest voice to the people. It's like people on Twitter who just talk, who just be giving their opinions. It's the same thing that you're doing, except you have years in a field of people who talk to those people directly. People on Twitter don't talk to them directly at all. They just assume. Beat writers and all that, they're in the locker rooms, they're talking to the dudes. Boom, whatever. They're the ones that's talking to the athletes. You've been the person that's talked to the athlete. But at the end of the day, it has such things called media training for a reason. Because they teach people how to talk to people. To talk to y'all. They teach them all how to talk to people for the organization. Now, we're in 2026. I honestly, and this is just my belief, I don't know Jaylen Brown at all. I just believe Jaylen Brown doesn't give a fuck. Jaylen Brown does not care. Not that he doesn't care about Boston, not that he doesn't care about his job, not that he doesn't care about the fans. But Jaylen Brown is Jaylen Brown, and Jaylen Brown is not afraid to be Jaylen Brown. Saying that you can't say that this was your favorite season after blowing a 3-1 lead in the playoffs, is it wrong? And should he say that? If we're going by PR training, no, he shouldn't say that. But we're talking about a dude that does not care about none of that. He doesn't. He felt like this was his favorite season because all his guys came up and he played great. Cool. Well, the fans don't want to hear that. Brother, everything from up there, and then this is just my personal experience. I just don't think Jaylen Brown cares. I don't think Jaylen Brown really cares about what people think about what he says or how he feels. And if a team doesn't want that, if they felt like he was that type of a person, if they've been dangling him for trade talks for mad long now, that's probably the reason why. Because he moves to his own beat, bro. And I respect it. I think everybody else should respect it. But to go on TV and highlight that and accentuate it, because knowing that Stephen A's voice carries as being the top dog in sports media right now, of course niggas gonna be in their feelings because he gotta listen to that shit every day. Oh, and it was great work putting together the montage of you glazing that man for mad long. Great, because that's not what he's talking about. Wade, that was your way of shining light on, hey man, I done glazed your shit for mad long. I think you're a good dude. But again, you glazed them before you slapped them. And you go behind the wall of, well, I'm just keeping it real myself. What you do might piss off somebody else. You can think you're right and they can think you're wrong. That's not going to change how it seems and how it makes other people feel and how it looks to the world. So when everybody's on TV, on media is making these statements and they're like, oh, he's just in his feelings, you're basically essentially telling them to change who they are and be politically correct. If Jaylen Brown doesn't want to be politically correct, that's his decision. And at the end of the day, and this has been a thing with Stephen A. Smith for a mad long, especially with the skin color thing and all that other every time it benefits you to say, I'm a strong black man. We already know where it's going. You have gone from being fired to being the top dog in sports media. Great for you. But what I need you to understand is that what you're doing is your job. That doesn't mean that other people have to like your job or what you say for your job. You come from an old school. We in 2026. Niggas don't have to do everything by the book. You certainly didn't do everything by the book, and you still got here, which is fine. But that does not mean that Jaylen Brown is wrong. Jaylen Brown is not wrong for being Jaylen Brown. And if that is your take on that, then as a black man, you are wrong. Because we don't teach our people to fake it. We are proud of who we are. And we don't back down from shit. So what you're saying is, the whole be professional thing, I get it. Be professional. You got to pick your battles sometimes. Well, brother, if Jaylen Brown is done fighting this fight for the Boston Celtics who keep trying to trade him, I don't blame him. Let that man be him. But the point is that you can sit here and glaze that man all you want. You can have a montage of everything you've said about every player saying, oh, they're great. Oh, I'll never question their heart. Oh, I'll never do this, that, and the third. And then 2 seconds later, say some shit that might get you slapped. And you're wondering why people be having a problem with you. It's your job, bro. Your job pisses people off. You don't have a problem with that. You clearly don't. But when people step and try to call you out on it and then be like, well, this is all I said. I just said that this is all I said. I've been giving this man love for a long time. You've been giving niggas love. You show niggas love before you slap them in the face. That's crazy. And who are you to choose what does or doesn't affect people? Hey, we in Men's Mental Awareness Month. Understand what you're doing. Just understand what you're doing. You don't have to stop it, but just understand what you're doing because you clearly know what you're doing. It's making you bread. You're not going to stop doing it. And as long as people like Jaylen Brown fall for the bait, it makes you bigger. You know that. But don't be irresponsible and go on TV and try to make people out to be stupid. Because Jaylen Brown ain't stupid. That's why he challenged you to a debate. And you think you're going to come out of that unscathed? Even if Jaylen Brown does not, quote unquote, win, there's going to be some shit that comes out. And you just better be careful. I think people at ESPN should tell you not to do it. They should tell you not to. That's dangerous. A man that don't give a shit versus a man who has people that he has to answer to, dangerous. Play with something safe, Stephen A. Play with something safe. You still, regardless of how many YouTube pages you got right now, you still got to answer to the niggas that's paying you the most. You might be good off the YouTube stuff if ESPN goes away. You might be good now. You got like 3 YouTubes. But ESPN gave you the $200 million contract. If that goes away, I'm straight. You're just not getting another $200 million. Yeah. Understand your job might just piss somebody off. And it has a right to piss people off. Y'all be safe out there.